All right. Uh, every time I did the stream, I'm like panicked that something's not gonna work. I feel like I'm in fucking Warhammer trying to travel through the warp. And every time I do it, it's like who knows what's gonna happen? Is the stream gonna crash? Maybe. Is it gonna crash my entire YouTube channel? Very much potentially. But I think we're live. I'm pretty sure we're live now. And I think everything's fine. I think everyone can hear me. I think everyone can see me, and I can, of course, hear and see you through your webcams. I can see all of you. That's how this works. Hi, welcome to the end of the month hangout. It's where we hang out at the end of the month. Don't worry about the fact that it's a week into November. It's basically still October, because yesterday was All Hallows Eve in Sweden, which is the real Halloween. So October doesn't end, so don't worry about it. If you're new here, which some of you may be, considering my last video is recently out, hi, my name is Mia Mulder. This is not my normal channel, but it is my streaming channel. And Jesus, and the way that this works is we stream for about an hour. We talk a little shit. We have a great little time. And while we do that, we talk a little bit about the month that has been, the month that's coming up, how things are going with the channel generally, things like that. It's great. It's good fun. Yeah. Hi everyone. For some, okay, I'm getting error messages that you're not getting smooth streaming, not enough video. I don't know what that means. I'm telling you, every time I stream, some new shit happens. Don't know why, but it is what it is. I think it's only gonna be all fine. So that's how we do it. That's how the format works. There's no rules. We hang out for about an hour. If you have any questions to ask me, feel free to do so. And if you don't, that's fine. Because that's not what this is. That's not the point of this stream. The point of this stream is just to hang out and have a good time. Yes. I have. If I seem a little brain dead, it's because I am. Because this video, that was almost 3 hours long. Jesus, that almost broke me. It almost broke me entirely, folks. Like, it was way too much work. I thought it would not be that much work, but then it was too much work, and then everything happened all at once, and then I don't know what happened. But now, going forward, I'm actually going to be using I'm actually going to take advantage of... we can talk about this later, in the later segment, in the actual part of the video, of the stream. We don't have to do that right now. How are you, first of all? I should have asked. I'm so sorry. How are you? How's the kids? So, we have recently released a video, so let's quickly talk about that, maybe. We'll start there, and then we'll talk about the month that has been, and then we'll talk about the month that's coming up. Because that is technically part of the month that has been. Can you tell? It's been a while since I was actually, like, active in this shit. So, a couple of days ago, I released, 5 days ago, in fact, I released Is the Economy Mad at Us? Which is a video about the economy in general. It's a long-ass rant, but like three fucking hours. Reception has been good. Hasn't been like as big as maybe I would have hoped, but it's doing fine. Like performance-wise, it's fine. The sponsor's happy, I'm happy, everyone's happy. So I literally can't complain. And it's doing quite fine. It's nice to see, like, you know, like the analytics actually be alive again after I've been gone for like 5 months. And the reason I've been gone for about 5 months is because so many things happened at the span of one time. So I do quickly sort of want to justify why this video took such a long time to make. And that is one. I made a video. The one before this was about Star Wars. And that one was a little bit of a, like, I have a deadline coming up, but I also have like crippling back pain and can't like get out of bed. That was like a tough couple of weeks. almost like 2 months of just like constant back pain. So I made that video because I had a deadline, a sponsored deadline. And when you have a sponsored deadline, you can't just like not do it. You gotta do it. The sponsor signed up for it. So that one came out, did that. And then I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna do a video that I've been thinking about for a while about the economy. And I'm not gonna have a sponsor until like October, which at that point was like way in the future. So I'm gonna have plenty of time to do it. I'm gonna have plenty of time to like take care of it. It's gonna be great. But immediately after the Star Wars video, and this like almost the second that like my back got better, I was like there was holiday season in Sweden. Like everyone goes on holiday, so I went on holiday. So that took up like a couple of weeks. Then every type of work in the world decided to happen at the same time. So not just when it comes to like YouTube work, which a lot of that stuff happened there too, like outside of actually like making videos, which is unfortunately a lot of work there as well. One is I had to make myself into like a proper like taxable company, which is why I kind of hinted this in the video, but like, this is like a tax thing that's happening. Also, tax season came, had to deal with that shit. Also, I'm an elected politician, and like right now, it's all budget shit. Like everyone's just, we have to make budgets for the municipality. And despite me being in opposition, and despite the budget that I make, what like will not be accepted, I still have to do it, and I have to do research on it, and all of that stuff also has taken up a bunch of time. So all of those things are just piling onto each other like over and over and over. Like that kind of led to the delay of this video until now, when a sponsored deadline came up, which I had planned to be like way in the future, but it kind of lined up with this video basically being done anyway. So that's why we actually have a video, right? It's weird, right? But because of that, because there's been so much fucking chaos, and because I can't be trusted, and because like the vast majority of the work time that I have to do for a video is editing, because I'm not a good editor. Like I'll be the first to admit I'm not the best editor. I think I'm much better at standing in front of the camera and raving, and because of that, I'm gonna from now on, I'm going to start using the Nebula production team, because they have a production team on Nebula who do all sorts of shit that you may want them to do. Like you can either use them to do like, you know, tiny edits to finish up a video or to like tighten it up. They can do sort of like the rough draft of it and then you can finish it, or they can just do like the whole shebang. So I'm going to let them deal with like much of the rough cuts of the video, so that I can focus on writing scripts, so that I can focus on being in front of the camera, which I prefer to do, and so that I can, how do you say, like clean up the video after that. Like I'll send them all my footage and they'll send me back like an edited version of the video, and then I can just make it nicer. You know, and they have to follow a script, my script, of course, so I still get to sort of have input on it. I just don't have to do it, which is gonna save me so much fucking time. So hopefully, from now on, I know I promised this like for years, but like now it actually should happen, because like I've made agreements and shit, so it has to happen. From now on, you should be getting slightly more regular videos, and hopefully in better quality as well. The drawback for me is less money because I have to pay them. But I would prefer to make many videos, each of which makes less money, than make one video every like 5 months and still occasionally like not make that much money. You know, I want to grow the channel and stuff like that. So that's been happening now. That's also a little bit in like what's coming up and what's been happening. But that's the reason at least why, and I'll get into more about that later, if you want. But that is why I haven't made a video in so fucking long, because editing takes forever, and editing takes forever, and I hate it. I don't hate editing, I like it, but you know what? You know what I mean. It takes up time, and I don't have that much of it. But the video came out anyway, thankfully, at long last, and Adam and Eve were very kind to let me do my to sponsor it, even though it was not what they thought it was going to be about. Yeah, reception so far has been pretty good. It is I did unfortunately upload a version that had like pretty weird audio for some reason, which I don't know why I didn't notice myself as I was like reviewing it. But then when people pointed it out and I was reviewing it, everyone was like, it was obvious, right? So I don't know what the hell happened on that one. Second of all, a lot of people are saying that my videos are kind of quiet, and I don't know about that one. Objectively, you have to be correct, because like this is a common thing that's happening on a lot of my videos, especially my more recent ones. So it has to be a thing that's happening. But also, I don't hear it. Like, in my ears, it sounds like any other YouTube video. In my ears, it's fine. It wasn't desyncing. This desyncing is not nearly as much bad as it initially was. Initially, it was like the audio was like all in one ear, but not the music. It was super weird. I don't know why. I don't know why that happened. I didn't even notice it occasionally. Yeah, tiny bit of desync. I'm not re-uploading it again. I'm sorry, folks. But anyway, you can tell that like this is the kind of stuff that like you had to put it on max volume. See, I don't notice this. I don't know why I don't notice it. Because I listen with multiple different earphones. I listen on my phone. Can't hear it. Also quiet on this stream. Like I can't go louder than this. Because like I don't know what to do on that one. Like I legitimately like I can't go louder unless I get like right up on the microphone, which seems weird. It seems like it should be able to go louder, but I don't know. Anyway, I think it's a sound normalization issue. Don't know why. Don't know how it works. Don't know how to fix it. Going forward, like again, I'm not going to deal with this. This is going to be dealt with by the production team, which are much more professional at video editing than I am, and they will be able to make sure that this also doesn't happen in the future. So you can be very happily assured about that one. Me and malfunction. I'm not great at editing, but like again. Hopefully, going forward now, along with this new production change, yeah, this is not going to be an issue anymore, like, at all. So I hope that that's going to be acceptable to all of you. And I'm sorry that I haven't been able to do it before. How do you say? Speaking of, like, poverty and shit like that, and that I kind of do in the video as well, I've been wanting to outsource my editing like since the beginning, but like that shit's expensive, and it's difficult to do that while still being able to afford it. But now I can afford it, and if everything should be okay, I should actually get a return on that investment in the form of more frequent videos, because I don't have to spend. I can literally half of my work time goes into editing, so. It should theoretically double my video output. Theoretically. So I do hope that you forgive me for that at least. But you know, it still hasn't stopped me from being a moderately successful YouTuber. Let's see. The month has been. Yes, I've been like finishing up this damn video. It's been like one of my biggest projects, and almost burned myself on doing it as well. Again, reason why I'm giving everything to the production team, so that they can do it instead of me. What else happened in the last month? I'm doing a lot of politics shit, and as I said in this video, my next video is going to be about me being a politician. But you don't care about that, I feel. Oh, I mean, technically you do. The census did say that you do like hearing about my political career, but the only thing that's happening in that career right now is I'm doing budgets, and like that, and that's also a reason why I've been like thinking about like economic spending and stuff like that, just because like that's kind of what I'm doing for the political work, and a little teaser for the upcoming video as well. It's gonna be out, I think it's currently slated for December 15th. I'm hoping to have it like sometime maybe in November if I'm really lucky, but like early December I think it's gonna be the release date. And if you only knew the type of bullshit that goes into sort of like municipal budgets, which is like again, like this is gonna be I'm gonna have this rant in the video as well, but like municipal politics dictates so much of your life. It dictates like garbage collection, schools, like the way you get and from work, maintaining your roads and shit. Like all of the basic like everyday shit that like keeps society running is handled on a very local level, and we're all fucking idiots. Like I'm in the decision-making room and I don't know shit. And a lot of the budgets just made up. A lot, like if you're like, oh, there's a $400,000 reduction on this type of spending. Why is that? It's made up. Someone made it up. Sounds good. It sounds good in the budget. It's all like this. And you'd think of like, okay, well at least like national politics is better. No, it's not. Because I met them and they're all garbage people too. Ooh. Thank you, Jazz On, for 5, I think, Australian dollars? Hi. Hello. Yeah. Let's see. Was there a reason I used euros instead of SEK in the cacti in the opening scene? Just because I had euros lying around from when I went on holiday. Because Sweden is an extraordinarily like cashless society, so I just didn't have a reason to have any cash, and I considered like going and getting some cash, but the only way you can kind of get coins is by buying something and then like exchanging it, but then you just have coins, and when am I gonna spend coins? So I just decided to just use euros because I had coins and bills. So it looked good for the video. Good enough, at least. Editing is super difficult. Ancient art of printing your photos. Yeah, but like, again, I'm gonna leave this to the professionals, and then they can deal with that shit. I think it'd be awesome to hear how real politics actually works. By the way, you look great. Thank you very much. Yes. It's gonna be quite fun, I think. It's gonna be very funny. To dig into it, I'm gonna have some motion graphics and shit. Okay, but now I'm getting way off track. Holy shit! I was gonna talk about the month that has been. Jesus. What else should we? What else is there? I'm sorry. I don't know. Am I usually this stupid? The answer is yes. Let's see. I actually think that might be it. I don't think I have anything else. But within that, then let's move on to the month ahead, because in the month ahead, I have been working on this video about like about politics. The working title for those of you who are here is going to be "Does voting work? I ran for office to find out," which is a little clickbaity, but I need the clicks. I'm desperate for good analytics because it's been a while, and I crave it. I crave it. So I want it. So I'm making that. I've been working on it like since, like on and off a little bit, like since getting elected, because I know that this is gonna be a video, right? And I initially thought about like maybe having it either like right as I got elected, but then it was like I don't know anything yet. Like I've like unless I've actually been a politician for a while, it's not as if I'm actually gonna be able to do it properly, right? And the second of all is and the second thought I had was that like, okay, well then I'll do it at the next election cycle. But then that was also like, that's like 4 fucking years away when anyone's actually gonna care enough to watch it. And at that point, like I'll be like, fuck that shit. I'm not waiting that long. I want to make a video about it now. So I'm making a video about it like at the 1 year mark of me being elected, which is we're already kind of over it, but we're about to reach the 1 year mark of me having my current political position, my current political appointment rather. So yeah, that's what I how do you say that's what that's gonna be. And again, this one's gonna be edited by the Nebula production team, not entirely. I am still gonna do like the finishing touches and stuff, but they are going to be doing most of that work, which I think is going to help me with a myriad of different things like this. And while we're talking about this, we may as well dig into it a bit later, a bit deeper, and that is that I have a very like strong problem of like pushing things up until the very end. Like there's always in my mind like something else more important that I could do. That's because I have ADD, and that's not great because it means that like I can do a pretty good like rough cut, but then like a lot of like the fine details of a video, I'm not going to be able to polish it good enough for release. And this has been an ongoing problem, especially when I have a sponsor deadline. But if I don't have a sponsor deadline, the ADD doesn't like let me do any work, and then it just like keeps going basically forever. I kind of need to have like that crushing deadline to motivate me to work. But this is going to basically like remove 2 weeks of work a month away from me that someone else is going to do. And during those 2 weeks, like the video is not going to be out in those 2 weeks because someone else is editing it. And during those 2 weeks, I'm desperately craving that I can do a lot of like the polish, a lot of the sort of like better voiceover work, or like more like fun graphics and things like that. Like, because I won't have to sit and just like edit out bad takes because someone else is gonna do that and like assemble the cuts. So that's gonna happen we're gonna do like a test run. Whoops. Didn't mean to do that, sorry. We're gonna do like a test run on my upcoming video where they're gonna edit it for like a little bit. We'll see how it goes. We'll try to figure out our like a good style on how to do it. Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to that. How much do local people get involved in municipal politics? Are there a lot of people, some recurring people? Not really. Like, people don't give a shit. Like, most people don't know who their municipal councilor is. Most people don't know how it works. Most people don't know who's in power in their municipality. Which is crazy talk because they are the ones who, like, we can set our own taxes, you know what I mean? Like, but no one cares. It's like everyone basically just cares about like national economics, or the national politics, because that's where, you know, nationwide issues are decided, and that's like foreign policy decisions and things like that. But like what happens in like parliament, has so much less bearing on your actual life than what happens in like your local council. Just because that's, again, like they are the people who they set your like most immediate taxes, they pick up your garbage, they make sure that the schools work, they make sure that like that the street lights work, they make sure that the potholes are filled, like things like that. And if that doesn't happen, then it's like society falls apart. So unfortunately, people are not nearly as interested as they maybe should be, but that I might be biased here, just because I'm very interested. Best tip against a depressive episode? Just power through it. I've never been able to fix one. The best thing you can do is just like embrace rotting, play video games for a while, eat ice cream, have a great time. You know what I mean? Like, just hang out. But yeah, that, you know, I really wish there was like a better way to fix depression, but alas. Can't be a YouTuber without playing the YouTube game. You get it. Voting won't exist in the US in 4 years. I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like, and I also feel like I kind of gotta make it before political discourse changes so much to the point where it's like away from that point, because it's still sort of relevant of people asking sort of like, does voting do anything? But yeah, that's the plan anyway. So that's part of what's coming up. The other part that's coming up is like on top of being able to like polish a video properly, I'm also going to be able to have those 2 weeks, you know, trying to harangue people to do voiceover clips for me and do more collaborative work. Because this is one of the reasons I haven't been able to do a lot of that, because I have been like, because I have fucking ADD, right? Like, I push everything up until the very end, which means that like by the time the video is like done enough so that I know which quotes are gonna end up in the actual video, which is the point where like I can start sending them out to people to like read in voiceover work and then put it into the video. There's not enough time. Like I send them, then they would have to do it like within like 2 days or something like that. Just because I push that level of editing up until the very end. But now it's gonna be able to be done way sooner. Just because like that kind of work is gonna be outsourced. Again, it's going to cost me a bunch of money, but I'm hoping that I can make up for that by increasing video output. So if you're really lucky, you're going to get like, maybe we might even be back to like a video a month if you're really lucky, and like eventually once we get used to it, you know what I mean? I was thinking about translating your old films into Polish. If it were such a translation, would you be interested in it? Yeah, I mean, for sure, go for it. I really miss community translations that they used to have on YouTube. They used to have this thing of like, you could make your subtitles and then other people would come in and do subtitles, like in their own languages. But now those are gone. Speaking of subtitles, actually, because that's also one of the other reasons why it took so long for me to finish this video, is because I started ADD medication. And it turns out that like once you start ADD medication and your brain starts working, it starts working differently than the way it had worked before. Like I spent like 2 weeks having a really difficult time figuring out how to focus on the right thing. Like, because I had hyperfocus. But now, like during those 2 weeks, right, it was just like, I'm gonna sit down at the computer and I'm gonna do work. But before I do a little bit of work, let's just like ease into it by like playing like an hour of a video game, for example. Or like I'll play some City Skylines for like half an hour just to like as a quick like pre-work reward, which I like to do. And then I would play City Skylines all day. And the whole day would be gone. And that would happen for weeks. And it would be really, really difficult for me to sort of like break the focus and like focus on something else. But now now I'm better at that. But that's another reason why it's happened. But now that I also have these brain medications and I can actually do the thing I want to do, I'm also going to start subtitling all my older videos, because there were two reasons why I haven't done that before. This goes into sort of like what has happened in the previous month type of activity. I did the reasons I haven't done it before is because it's either kind of expensive to have someone else do it to a professional level where you're happy with it and you know that it's accurate. Because until like extremely recently, like AI transcription software didn't exist. Like now it exists, and that reduces the cost significantly. But that didn't exist for like when I started my channel. And the second point is that like in order to make sure it's actually accurate, you need to have like specific focus, right? Like you need to sit and watch every single word that's being said of your video and make sure it's like correctly spelled and the right time slot. Like it's a very detailed, finicky work. Impossible for me to do before. Like I could not do it. I tried to do it. It was really difficult to do. Like my brain would start scratching on the inside of itself and just screaming to get out. Now though, it's no problem. Now I can just do it. I just take some Vyvanse and I'm great. And I can sit for like 2 hours and just like and do it. So I've transcribed like the last video, for example. Now I'm gonna start going back to my older videos and doing that for them as well, when I have the time to do it. But I'm hoping that by the time my next video comes out about politics, every single one of my videos will be subtitled, and I'm also hoping that the next video will also be subtitled before it uploads, so that you can so that no one is gonna have to watch it without having to no one has to watch it without closed captioning at all. So that's fun. That's good. Add to that like the editing from the editing team, the production team, who are gonna make sure that the audio is like on a good level, which apparently I can't do. Like I think it's gonna be a lot more accessible for people. Like it's a win for accessibility in my videos, which is about damn time. So that has also been one of the things that's like been ongoing as an ongoing issue. What else though? Like let's what else is up? What else has happened in the last? Do you have any thoughts on Adam and Eve also sponsoring some writer wing people like Brendan Herrera and Donut Operator? I have no idea who those are. Brandon Herrera. YouTuber, Republican Party. I mean, I would assume so. Brandon Herrera for Congress. Is this guy my? Oh, he's at. Well, I was about to say, like, is this guy my American right-wing counterpart? But he does have 3 million subscribers, and I'm not there yet. Never heard of this dude. I don't think about him at all. Who the fuck's Donut Operator? I do have some thoughts though. I'll get back to. Donut Operator. Donut Operator. Some sort of React person. Wild. Never heard of these people. Me personally, like, I think for specifically this type of sponsorship, I don't mind it. I don't care. They pay me, and I'm very happy with that. I think it would be somewhat different if they provided like a somewhat different service. Like, I know that like for example, CuriosityStream or Skillshare or Nebula itself potentially, you know, like I would have a much more problem with them sponsoring a person like that, because they're not just it's not just sort of like a good that in itself is like, it's whatever. In my mind, like sex toys, it's like a coffee machine. Like it's an object. It's not like there's no sort of like there's not values built into the fact of a coffee machine, for example. There could be and probably should be, but like for the purposes of a sponsorship, like I'm just gonna say that like it doesn't matter that much. But if it's something like educational, for example, like Curiosity Stream or Skillshare or things like that, where it's not just like a good, but it's also like a worldview type of thing, I would have a much bigger problem with that, for example. So like if Curiosity Stream was like marketing itself to explicitly like right-wing content. I know that they've sponsored like some, maybe not the nicest people in the world, but like not like people who promote like a right-wing worldview. And if they promoted that in a way where it was like, we are promoting these values, and also this company is supporting me in doing that. That to me, then it becomes sort of like a different vibe to me. Does that make sense? Because then it's like the company is sharing the values rather than just having a good. Because in my mind also, it's like I don't love the fact that they do it. Essentially, obviously, I would prefer that they didn't. But I also know like kind of what the industry is like, and me saying like I don't want to work with them because they work with these people would do nothing to change that behavior. You know what I mean? The only thing that would change is give me less money, and I think it's good that they pay me money as a lefty person who has somewhat good ideas, I think. Does that make sense? Or do I just sound greedy by saying that? I mean, I realize I do sound a bit greedy by saying that, but also I think it's true. Does that make sense? I also know that like Adam and Eve haven't been like someone's like. I know that they've been like some. They said something was like reusable when it wasn't. Which is not great. Also either like. But it comes to me of like a. To me, at the end of the day, it's like. I can either choose to not have any company sponsor me, which is fine, which is I've done before, or I can do it and make like double my income, which would help me like significantly in like other parts of my life, and also just making videos and doing all of that kind of shit. You know what I mean? But then you have to work with companies, and companies are just like this. You know what I mean? Like it's very rare that you're gonna find like a company that's like universally nice. Because like yeah, it's just like it's shooting yourself in the foot. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I much prefer them just like pay me as well, while I also give you a primer on Marxism. While I trick you into learning about Keynesian economics. But that's not something that like, yeah. If you only work with companies that are perfect, you'll never work with any company. Exactly. That's exactly sort of my perspective here. And like again, like if I did a boycott of some reason that wasn't like how do you say? Massively coordinated, the only change would be that I make less money. You know what I mean? It's very unfortunate. EU needs to step out to 6 toy adverts game. I agree. I do think that there are some though, but like my audience is primarily North American, so I think that might also be one of the reasons. There's certain companies I've never worked with. Oh, for sure. There are definitely like I have been approached by certain companies that I would never work with, that are, straight monstrous. I wouldn't. Yeah, like obviously there are some hard lines here, but I don't think that Adam and Eve crosses that line, for example, or Curiosity Stream or Skillshare, for that reason. Audible was like on the line for me just because it's owned by Amazon, and that was on the line for me. But there was a part of me that was just like Audible itself, like that specific subsidiary, I haven't heard that much negative about, and I did some research and couldn't find anything, so I was like, okay. And I was okay with them like 2 years ago or something like that. So, like that kind of shit. Have you been provided Raid Shadow Legends? Yes, I have. Yes, I have. Multiple times. I'm never gonna work with them, by the way. If you see me do a Raid Shadow Legends, fucking... If you ever see me do a Raid Shadow Legends, like, sponsorship, like, cancel me immediately, shut down my channel, hack me, destroy me, like, fuck it. I don't... Absolutely garbage company, and I don't like them. They also, like, grossly, like, under offer me for what my view count is. I'm not gonna, like, obviously I'm not gonna dig into the details of sort of like how much I make per sponsorship, but like I make most, like not most, but like a significant portion of my total income on sponsorships. And then Raid fucking Shadow Legends comes in and offer me like half of that, even though they know my rate. So die. They're garbage. They're absolutely garbage. But like their strategy of advertising or like offering advertisements to everyone continuously is something that works quite well, especially if you're a content creator who like makes videos like, you know, 2 or 3 times a week. But I can't do that. But that means I can afford to pick a bit better. What else? What else has happened in the month? And what else is happening in the upcoming month? I'm gonna try desperately to post more on like TikTok and stuff like that, just because of for no other reason other than just I'm trying to be more active on like other social media. You may have seen like I posted some shorts. I posted some on the main YouTube channel, for example, just to give the old channel a little boost. And it does work. Like they do attract some views, not maybe as much as like you would have hoped, but like I think the idea is that if you post shorts like continuously, that's gonna start attracting people. And like again, this is the YouTuber game coming in, so I do apologize if you don't like shorts. I also don't like shorts, but it's the grind, isn't it? So what are you gonna do? Sad to say, but like that is what I have been forced and brought into. But then again, we'll see if we'll see if it actually ends up with anything, because also at the same time, like they don't make me like money, so I'm gonna do it for like a month and see sort of like if they have an effect on like subscriber rates or if people watch my video and things like that. Yeah, and again, I'm gonna do the same thing with TikTok. I'm gonna try to do this thing where if I make a TikTok, I'll post it to YouTube and vice versa, just so that I don't know, do the cross promotional thing. Can you tell I'm like making this shit up as I go along? In my mind, I still have like 200 subscribers. Like it makes no sense to me that this is a career and like people do this professionally. It makes no sense. I'm always gonna be like, in my mind, I'm always gonna be like a tiny YouTuber. And we're like about to hit 150,000 subscribers on the main channel too. Like 500 away or something. It's crazy talk to me. Okay, I'm just sitting here bragging, which is not my intent at all whatsoever. I do apologize. But what else has happened? Ask me questions. Fuck it. Like, what's going on? We still have like 10 minutes more. 13, in fact, even. I will also say that like this is one of the reasons also I haven't been streaming a lot. It's just because like I've had no time available. I have had 0 hours available in my schedule, when accounting for things like having to go to the office, speaking to constituents, which I do on the regular, and also making YouTube videos. Like the prime tasks in my life are those. and just, you know, streaming video games has fallen by the wayside. Even posting on Twitter occasionally has fallen by the wayside. Things like that, you know what I mean? People should know Shorts Out Ever Connect right into subject in real detail. I would hope so, but God, who knows? What else? Depending on how much time I have, or depending rather how much time this new like editing deal is gonna like give me, I might use some of that time freed up to start streaming video games again. But I am waiting for, in which case I obviously will, but in which case I will wait until City Skylines 2 comes out with a map editor, because I'm gonna do this thing which I've been wanting to do ever since I got elected, which is to make a map of the municipality in which I'm a politician, and make it like in City Skylines 2, like it's like as it is. I'm going to make it, and then, you know, go from there basically, and see what you can do from that. But we'll see if I ever manage to actually do that. Or if this is a, how do you say, a fool's errand, as the kids say. Anything you're excited for? Anything you're excited for before the new year? Not really, is the thing. Like, I'm looking forward to making videos again. I'm really looking forward. What I'm hoping for most of all is that, like, now that I'm used to my new medication, now that the budget is almost done for the municipality, and I'm actually gonna have more time from that, and now that like half of my YouTube work is gonna be given to people who both are nice, who I know, who are wonderful people, who kind of get my vibe, and who are really good at sort of like not changing like my persona, like my vibe in my editing, you know what I mean? It's just gonna be better, because they're professionals. I'm hoping that with all of that I can just make more videos, because that's what I love to do the most. I love making YouTube videos, and I'm hoping that this kind of stuff is going to help me sort of like cut out the thing I don't like doing. I like writing scripts, I like standing in front of the camera, I like recording, and I like doing sort of like the final edits at the end. I don't like rough cut editing, which is the biggest part of editing, hence why I'm outsourcing it. Yeah. You know? There's an important plus in thinking like a 200 sub YouTube channel. Could help keeping you fresh as opposed to intimidated slave of the algorithm. I know this is legitimately like a thing. So Nebula has this thing called, or like there are people who work on Nebula who do stuff like social media syndication, which I barely know what that is. But like a big part of their job is basically to look at like a creator's vibe and figuring out sort of like what is their brand, like what kind of keywords would you associate with this channel, like what is the main features of this how do you say, of this channel. And the thing that comes up like the most from my part is I don't want to say authenticity, because that sounds like it sounds like I'm like sitting here jerking myself off. This is not what I'm trying to do. It's more in the sense of like a little ruggedness. Like I have small channel energy in a good positive way, because it does how do you say, like as you say, like I don't really chase the algorithm in that sense, which is maybe not the best thing for the channel, because chasing the algorithm does work, but I do think it's good for like the long-term growth of the channel, because like even though I might not gain subscribers in the same way that like other people do, I do have like an extraordinarily like reliable viewer base, And that is something that I exceptionally appreciate. Like, if I upload a video, I know for sure that like a certain subsection of my audience is gonna watch it, which is not something that like other YouTubers can say. So if you chase the algorithm and you upload a video that doesn't work with the algorithm, it doesn't matter if you have like 2 million subscribers. Like maybe like only like 1,000 is actually gonna watch that video, which is crazy talk again. Like, but that's how it is. I don't have to do it. I don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. I mean, you're technically a professional. I know. I know. I like to think of myself as a professional opinion haver. But I would much prefer someone whose profession is editing to do my editing, because like editing is not my editing, especially rough cut editing. Rough cut editing is a thing that I have to do. I don't like doing it. I don't live for it. It's not fun. I would rather not do it. Shorts can be an important interlude break to content production and just to allow you to explore and have fun. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping to also use this this freed up time a little bit to be able to sort of like be a bit more creative, which I've missed, because like when you're on a time crunch, and you have to make a deadline, and there are certain things you have to do, and rough cut editing is not very creative, because it's mostly just like categorizing scenes, assembling scenes, moving, like taking out bad cuts, like framing all the cuts properly, like all of that kind of stuff is like it's very sort of monotone work for me. So I am hoping to be able to like do more creative work, because that's what I like to do. Hi everyone, hello. I keep watching your videos on YouTube because your Patreon posts link to them. Is it better for you if I watch them on Nebula? I'm already subscribed there. It is better for Nebula, for sure. Nebula, if you're subscribed to Nebula and you can watch my videos there, like that is infinitely better for me as a creator than it would be watching them on YouTube itself. And I keep forgetting to count the Nebula analytics for when I do my own thinking of analytics. Because I didn't. How much is this actually? Hold on, I wanna see this, because like I am very much like of that kind of person, because I've been on Nebula like for a while now. I haven't really kept up with the fact that like Nebula's kind of grown quite quickly, like as a streaming platform with like a dedicated audience of its own. So I didn't really pay attention that much. Like I'm uploading my videos there, I'm having a great time, I get sponsors on it, like that's good, but I haven't really been that invested in it, unfortunately. And then like a couple of weeks ago, like a month or two ago, I was doing some work on my page, like on the back end, which you can't see obviously, and I was looking at my analytics on Nebula, and like there are several tens of thousands of people who watch my videos there too, which is like, what? I didn't know that. So like a solid percentage, there's like a solid like double-digit percentage of my audience, if you were to compile like subscribers from both like platforms, who follow me and watch me primarily on Nebula, which I didn't know, which is great. It makes me feel a lot better when, like, for example, this video underperforms. Yeah. But Nebula for sure is like it's better, just because it's a paid platform, and it's also like the structure, the payout structure between like creators and the company is much more in the creator's favor on Nebula than it is on YouTube. YouTube takes it's not that YouTube takes like a bigger cut, but that because they have sponsors and stuff and ads that Nebula doesn't really use in the same way. But how do you say this? I've completely forgotten like words. because it's a paid service and because you pay to be on it, like if you like the amount that you pay sort of like per person is like way bigger than it is on YouTube, but that also means that each individual view is worth so much more to the people you're watching. Might be useful to link to both. Could definitely do it. I could, yeah. I'll keep that in mind. I haven't thought about, again, like this is like I haven't really thought about doing that because in my mind it's like I don't think about it enough. Even though I obviously like it. But yeah, the only reason why I haven't really like actively thought about it in that sense is just because I have not been how do you say? I have not been. Am I stupid? Why can't I think? Because here's the thing. Yeah, it's because it is behind a paywall. I don't really think about them that much, just because I don't like to think about making content for behind a paywall. I don't like making content behind paywalls. In my mind, I have never, and I really hope to never make like regular Mia Mulder content that you can only watch behind a paywall. Occasionally I'll make like an episode of a show maybe, or like I'll contribute to an already existing show that's like behind a paywall, but that's different. Like that's not the standard Mia Mulder experience, because in my mind it's like, if you're a subscriber of mine, then you should be able to watch my stuff. And I think that just because, like before I was a YouTuber, I was a YouTube fan, and it was always annoying to me when like a YouTuber that I really liked made a video that I would have really been interested in, but it was like behind a fucking paywall and I couldn't watch it because it was broke. So that was frustrating to me. But so unless I make like a new specific type of format sometime in the future, probably when my workload goes down from politics, which it will eventually in a year, I think. Like, it's never going to go behind a paywall. So anything paywall related, in my mind, doesn't really exist. And that's why Nebula kind of slips my mind a little bit. But I could definitely link to both. Didn't Nebula deplatform the second thought? I don't know what that whole... I don't know the drama in that one, unfortunately. Because I don't know about Second Thought very much. But... I don't want to like say anything like one way or another, because I really do like Nebula and the people working there. So I don't, but I have no insight into that drama like at all. Again, I'm not involved in that. Unfortunately, I wish I had a take. I always have a take, but yeah. The standard Mia Mulder experience. I think Nebula was the place I discovered me. There's a lot of people who discover me on Nebula, like because it does like someone mentioned it a bit earlier, like kind of equalizes creators in a sense. It doesn't like have a preference for. I mean, like obviously, like if you have a big fan base, like and you have more researchers to make more videos, and if you make more videos, odds are you're gonna be like shown more on like Nebula and stuff like that. But there's a much more sort of equal. It's a much better equalizer than YouTube itself is. I really need to be more involved in Nebula, and now I'm gonna use the production team now, but like I really don't think about them that much, unfortunately. Instead of a drama farmer, and they got to me. No, the establishment didn't get to me. I have become the establishment. Anyway, we've been streaming for an hour. I'm gonna go, I think. I work tomorrow. I have fucking budgets and shit. Okay, that's gonna be fun. I don't want to make a budget. It's very boring and it's very tedious. And it doesn't matter in the end because the majority is gonna vote it down because I'm in opposition. It doesn't matter. Anyway, all of this is spoilers for my next video, so you'll see because I'm having all of these rants there. Yes, I'm going to go. And I'm going to go and probably play some video games for like a little bit before I have to go to the office tomorrow. Yes. I'm going to, yeah, I'm just gonna go. Have a good time. Have a great time. It's been fun hanging out. I can't think of anything else that I was supposed to bring up for the stream. I'll try to be a bit more better prepared maybe for future streams. But I'm not gonna be sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. Even though I keep mentioning them here, maybe they should pay me, but they don't. They don't pay good. And don't play Raid Shadow Legends. I'm giving them an anti-ad. Don't play that game. It's bad. Have a good time. I've had a great time. I will see all of you, I think, next weekend. I'm not really sure. I was supposed to have a React stream for patrons, for all my patrons, last month, but I didn't have time. Unfortunately, I had to cut it. So I'm gonna have more streams in November, and I'm gonna have a React stream in December as well, just to sort of make up for that. But I'll post the streaming schedule, I think, sometime in the next week. Yeah, have a great time. I will see all of you reasonably soon, I hope, on a stream of some sort. I hope you all show up for my next video. That's going to be out reasonably soon. You don't have to wait for 5 more months to wait for it. It'll be out in like a month, hopefully. And if we're really lucky, it's going to be, we're not going to be lucky because it's going to happen. It's going to be professionally edited by, you know, the very, very talented editors of the Nebula production team. Thank you so much, and I will see all of you next time. Bye-bye.